Hey everybody, welcome to the Golf Dudes podcast. Another Thursday night, a big show planned. We have lots to get to, lots of PGA Championship stuff. We'll cover it from head to toe, and some of the local stuff. So thanks for hanging out with us tonight. I'm Joe Cloud. With that is Rich Capali. Rich, how you doing today, buddy boy? How'd you play this morning?
Not too bad. The number's getting lower. Shot a 42 for 9. It's getting lower. Slowly but surely. It's taking a little time, but hopefully it'll come around.
There you go. I did not play today. I have two big rounds for the next 2 days. My club championship round 2 match, as I did win, starts is tomorrow afternoon, and then I have Ryder Cup qualifying on Saturday. So that's where I am. In case you guys, the comments are already loading up, so we'll get to them once they load up. As people continue to chime in here on the Golf Dudes podcast. I'm in a new location, so pardon any technical difficulties that we have. I'm still figuring out what's the best way to do it. Is from this new location. I was going to do it outside on our back deck, but I wasn't sure what the lighting would look like. So for now, we'll do it here on the new Golf News RI offices that are in development. And so that's where Rich is at his house. So that is where we are. We're going to get right into it because I know we have a lot to get to. I know both Rich and I are anxious to actually talk about the PGA Championship stuff. Usually the PGA is his thing, and I chime in. But I actually have a lot of notes and stuff written down as well. So anxious to get to that. So the first thing, so I just put this up like a couple of hours ago. Just a quick note on the Metacomet public hearing. That was supposed to be tonight. We were going to try to cover it or do something along those lines. I talked to Pat last night about it, and we kind of had a basic game plan for what we were going to do. It turns out that public hearing was canceled. It was canceled yesterday, but no one really knew about it. I mean, there was confusion. So I called Marshall Development today and asked them to confirm that the meeting was in fact canceled. Hence, it was canceled. And without getting too much into the politics of it, because I don't necessarily know how this stuff works, apparently it was canceled because the city, so City East Providence, did not properly post the meeting with the Secretary of State's office. And again, that's according to Marshall Development. Again, I don't want to get too much into the politics of it because I don't really know and I don't want to speak out of turn, but that is what I was told. So the meeting is being rescheduled to Tuesday, August 11th at 6 p.m., and that's at the same place at the Edward R. Martin Middle School. So if you want to go, that's when the new meeting is. They did say that there could be further meetings depending on how things play out or whatever ends up happening. So that is the news on Metacomet. That story is up on our site. It went up late this afternoon, so relatively late. So if you didn't see it, be sure to check that out. And then, by the way, that Tuesday, August 11th, and that is the same night that Mulligan's Island is doing their walkthrough. Well, it's not Mulligan's Island doing their walkthrough. It's the coastal properties doing their walkthrough of the Mulligan's Island development. So Tuesday, August 11th sounds like a big night. And I will let people know what we're going to do for coverage, either on one of those or both of those. I was thinking about going to the Mulligan's Island event and doing a Facebook Live or something along those lines. So we will see. Now we have some extra time to plan it. I'll chat with Pat over the weekend and see what we can do. Other big news, our big story today, and Rich, I know you have your thoughts on Triggs, but today they were named, golf.com named them one of the 14 best municipal courses in the country. They're on the list with Chambers Bay and Bethpage Black. Among other courses, there's a course in Massachusetts that made the list that the name escapes me right now. So that's pretty cool nomination for Triggs. And about Triggs, golf.com wrote, as I copy and pasted the quote here, you can hardly swing a 9-iron around our small estate without knocking up against a great down the rush design. Like many munis, Triggs has endured maintenance up and down throughout the decades, but its bones have always been top-notch, with small, deftly bunkered greens and nuanced dog legs on holes set seamlessly into the contours of the land. So a pretty cool write-up for Triggs there. One of the top 14 best municipal courses that you can play in the country. Again, Chambers Bay, Bethpage Black are all courses that also are on their list. So, Rich, I know we play Triggs, you play Triggs. Pretty cool thing for them.
Yeah, no, I like the course is fantastic. It's usually always in good shape. Um, and that's about all I have for them.
So on that note, we'll just move on. But a cool nomination for Triggs in Providence. So there's that. Other things on my notes as we cruise along here. Wanted to give a shout out and recognize Kirkbride Country Club's Mike Hamilton. He won the Rhode Island Stroke Play Championship on Wednesday at Quinnitisset Country Club. I hope I pronounced that correct. If I didn't, my fault. So that was a two-day tournament. It was actually the final day was supposed to be a 36-hole event, but because of the storm and the hurricane or the tropical storm, it was moved to just the 18-hole final. So Mike Hamilton won it. He was 6 under through 2 days, and he won the tournament by 3 shots. So that win was big for him on a number of occasions. We highlighted him a couple of weeks ago at the amateur when I thought he had a legitimate chance to beat the number 1 seed Andrew O'Leary, and he almost did. But that was his first win, his first Rigo win of his career, if you want to call it that. But it also is big because it gets him into the Northeast Amateur next year, which is pretty cool. So obviously the Northeast Amateur is one of the best amateur golf tournaments in the country. Certainly one of the best ones in New England. So that was a big win for him, and that gets him into the amateur next year. And obviously that would be at Wannamoisa Country Club. Speaking of amateurs, the U.S. Amateur, which is one of my favorite tournaments to watch every year, that starts next week over at Bandon Dunes in Bandon, Oregon. So we had a story about that up a couple of days ago, whatever it was. And Rhode Islanders U.S. have 2 rooting interests in U.S. Amateur this year, believe it or not. 2 people from Rhode Island are making the trip to Oregon. I'm not sure if they've left yet or not. But 2 rooting interests in Davis Chatfield, a former RI amateur champion, and also Patrick Welch, who went to Classical High School, and now he's a star at the University of Oklahoma. Obviously, Chatfield is at Notre Dame. So they're both playing the U.S. Amateur next week. This is Chatfield's 3rd amateur, as he played at Pinehurst last year. And this is Patrick Welch's 2nd amateur. His first one was 2 years ago at Pebble Beach. So rooting interest for everybody next week at the U.S. Amateur. We'll have coverage of that on Golf News RI. I know it's going to be broadcast on the Golf Channel. We're not sure what the hours are yet, but good for those 2. Let's give the Facebook peeps some love. Our guy Mario is back. He says he's watching on location. And he says that I have a nice haircut. Well, I do have a nice haircut. Thank you. Derek Odette, thanks for watching. Great run this week at the Stroke Play Challenge. Mom, thanks for watching. Caitlin Allen's watching. I wonder if she's watching from downstairs. Anyway, my brother is watching. My mother says good show. Jeff Agonia is watching. Excuse me. Thanks, Jeff. Great to see you yesterday at the club. And John Calabro says, a big day for Eldrick today. We will get to all that in just a little bit. I know Rich is chomping at the bit to get to some Tiger Woods talk, some PGA talk, and all those other things. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll continue to refer to the comments as they populate, but we just want to make sure we get the news items in as well. So thanks to everybody for watching that. As I scroll down my list here, I have one other thing that we put up today, because Rich, you and I had talked about it, and you posted an article. It happened before we went live for the site, but we had talked about it, which is buttonhole reopening. There's going to be the Rhode Island Golf Association is hosting a floorball tournament to help raise funds for the fire that damaged, I guess in parts severely damaged, the office. So that tournament registration already closed. That tournament is going to be held on Tuesday, August 11th and Wednesday, August 12th at Valley Country Club. So if people are interested, I'm sure you can go watch. It's an amateur tournament. Rich, we couldn't play because your max handicap index between the two people had to be 18, and so that limited us. So I was going to sign us up.
Yeah, well.
Yeah,
that one ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, so we couldn't sign up for that. But that's going to take place Tuesday, August 11th, and Wednesday, August 12th. Rich, have you been to Buttonhole? I know you visit there once in a while to practice and stuff. Have you been there? Are they back in good shape, or I'm sure they do pretty good.
I haven't been actually. I don't think I've been at all this year. My buddy's brother lives right down the street there, but I haven't had the chance to go by. I've been too busy with work and stuff like that. But they always have a good showing there, especially with the kids and it being a PGA learning center. So they'll be all right, and hopefully they make a lot of money with this 4-ball charity event.
Absolutely, and we'll cover it again August 11th and 12th at Valley Country Club, and all proceeds are going to Buttonhole to raise funds to help repair the building from the fire that they had back in March. We have an article going up tomorrow about it. But Rich, if you want, can you just highlight what's going on at the King this week? I know you have live music tomorrow night, I believe. Like I said, I want to put an article up.
I think it's Glenn. Glenn Miller. Glenn Miller's performing at the King tomorrow night. We got Derek on the grill. I'm pretty sure the specials fish and chips. I want to say that live at the King starts at 6. I'm pretty sure. So if you guys are in the area, go check that out. Like I said, my buddy Derek's on the grill, phenomenal cook, and slinging drinks as well. So that starts at 6 tomorrow.
All right, so if you want to hear some live music, golf courses continue to lead the way back for live music. Stop the streams and let's get these people finding a way to play live. I know there've been some driving concerts, which is a cool idea, and some other things. So this is on a lifestyle show. I don't want to go too deep into the weeds, but it's cool to see golf courses sort of leading the way back. One other quick note that I didn't write it down, but we highlighted, and she's going to be back on the show in a couple weeks. Our girl Allison Pake, she finished in a tie for 15th at the National High School Golf Invitational at the Pinehurst Resorts, the famous Pinehurst golf courses this week. She has a tournament next week. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. She told me what it was in an email, and I forgot, of course. But she's going to be back. She's going to drive to that tournament. Then she's going to come back on the show in like 2 weeks maybe, or 3 weeks before she goes off to Columbia. So I'll be excited to talk to her again. Tied for 15th out of 100 competitors from all over the country. She was the only one from Rhode Island competing. So that was quite something for her. And like I said, we'll advertise when she's coming back on the show in the next couple of weeks or so before she heads off to Columbia. Hopefully she heads off to Columbia with this coronavirus stuff. So that is kind of the news and notes that I have as far as some of the local stuff goes. It's kind of tournament season is kind of winding down. So there'll be less and less, but still some great stuff, still some great content this week on Golf News RI, and obviously more to come over the weekend with PGA Championship stuff, which started today. Haley Smith, thank you for watching. See you at Kirkbride this weekend. So this is what you've been waiting for. I know I'm excited, as I said, excited to talk about it as I move my notes down here. Hold on. PGA Championship going on right now, prime time, TPC Harding Park in San Francisco. Rich has been watching coverage all day. I've been watching coverage since around 4 or so because I don't have all the extra ESPN stuff. But Rich has been on coverage all day, and I have a bunch of thoughts. But Rich, why don't you lead off? What's your lead-off thought with the PGA Championship this week? And what are some of your leading thoughts?
All right, before I get into the PGA Championship, I just want to make mention that the LPGA started getting back in the swing of things last week, They actually had their first positive coronavirus test. It was a caddy. It was an unnamed caddy that carries for I hope I said this name correctly, Perrine Delacour. I'm not familiar with her, but her caddy did test positive, and she has withdrawn from the event this weekend's event, and will be getting quarantined. I just wanted to throw that in there before we get to the PGA. Also, another side note on Golf Channel, I think it's the U.S. Women's Amateur. I think is on
Yep.
as we speak,
Yep.
or it was on earlier. Just wanted to throw that out there too. Also, European Tour was on this morning too, so there's a whole bunch of golf on this whole weekend. So, anyways, to Harding Park, insane course. It looks absolutely insane. I would love to play there one day, as it is a municipal course. Right there on the lake in San Francisco. Right off the bat, for morning groups, everybody's hitting their tee shots right. I just said I'm glancing over at the TV right now, and I'm watching everybody miss it right into this rough that is almost ankle deep, and you actually need the marshals to find your ball. I think Justin Thomas took a double on 17. I think it was either 17 or 8. I'm not sure which side he went off of this morning, but he took a double. He hit the ball into the cypress trees and lost it. It either got caught up in the cypress trees or it ricocheted and the ball was gone. He took a double, and I think he finished at 1 over. That's number one in the world right there, finishing 1 over with, I think he had 2 doubles and a bogey. So that's plus 5. He ended up finishing plus 1 for the day. What are your initial thoughts, Joe? Before I got a whole bunch of stuff I can go over. So, what's your thoughts so far from what you've been seeing?
Yeah. So real quick, just to clarify, you go through a number of things, which is great. Just to clarify, Thomas was playing with Tiger. They went off the back 9, so that made that.
Yeah.
So
the back 9.
Okay. That was 17.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean that's 17.
That was 17.
And I believe the ball.
Correct. Yep.
Right. So I just wanted to correct that just for. I believe the ball got stuck in the tree. That's what they were saying on the broadcast. And they said that happens.
Yeah, the trees are gigantic. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. So the ball got stuck in the tree. So that was the case with him. Yeah, you said LPGA's in town. They're back playing European Tour, etc. The U.S. Women's Amateur is going on right now. There's no one from Rhode Island playing in it, but there is in Massachusetts. Shannon Johnson, she's from Massachusetts. She's playing in that, so there's a somewhat local rooting interest. But anyway, back to the PGA stuff. We mentioned Thomas. He's 1 over after he almost fell apart, but he made a great effort to get it back. Other thoughts that I had from watching today, and again, you watched more of it than me, so if I'm off base, feel free to jump in. I thought TPC Harding Park looked pretty cool. For those that don't know what TPC Harding Park is or not heard of it, it's hosted President's Cups. It's hosted another tournament. It was a WGC event way back with Tiger and John Daly playing in a playoff or something.
Yeah, I think it was 05. I think it was 05.
Famous thing. Then they had the President's Cup with the famous Tiger Woods Club Twirl. They made a Lego thing of that. Was a TPC Harding Park. So if you're not a diehard golf fan, you might not recognize what TPC Harding Park is or recognize the name of it, but they have hosted PGA events on numerous occasions. I'm sure that we just touched on 2 of them. But I thought the course looked tough, but the guys were making putts. You just got to stay out of the rough. And there's only 2 par 5s on the course, which I didn't realize. So that's going to make it really interesting because usually these guys crush the par 5s, right? They just get right back into a tournament. All they need is a par 5 or 2. But on this course, there's only 2 par 5s on the entire course. Now, these guys can get there and they'll putt for eagles, and there are a number of eagles made today. But I thought that was interesting as well, and something that could be a factor if guys are trying to make up ground over the weekend. So couple of notes that I made, and I'll let Rich jump back in. I don't want to. I know he's got a number of things to go over. Jason Day is Day still in the lead, or is that not the case anymore? when I wrote my notes, he was in the
Yeah,
lead.
I think he's still in the lead. He's in the lead at 5 under, I think. Yep.
Okay, he's still in the lead at 5 under. We reported last week when he fired his coach after like 2 decades. So he fired Colin Swatton, and now he's in the lead at 5 under. There were a slew of guys at 4 under: Zach Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Justin Rose that I made note of. Koepka once again, big tournament, and he shows up. So we'll see if he doesn't put his ball on 18 into the water this time around. He might win it, like he did, unlike last week. I didn't understand that, but that's another conversation for the day. Our guy Tiger Woods 2 under after the first round. I was happy to see how he was playing well. That bogey on the 8th hole, but his 17th, that was killer. I mean, he just made that putt on 60. I'm trying to keep track of the hole. Sorry. And then he puts it way right into the bunker, and he hit a great bunker shot. Actually, he got up to like 8 feet, I guess they were saying, but he couldn't make the putt. But 8 and 9, I guess they say, are real tough holes, the toughest holes on the course. So that was good, and I have other Tiger Woods thoughts, but I want to get it back to you. And my last thing that I have before I turn it over to you, and then we kind of just go around the tournament. Bryson DeChambeau, bizarre situation if you were watching. He's 3 under right. Oh, again, at the time I made these notes, he was 3 under. So if the score is different now,
yeah, he's still 3 under.
He's still 3 under, and I thought a fascinating situation happened on 7. I texted you about it when he hit it. He takes these wild swings. That's beside the point. And his driver broke when he put the club down. I guess he leaned down over on it to pick up his tee, and the club had broke. Now I didn't think you were allowed to replace the club if you break it during the round, but I guess in this case they really, I mean, they had the rules official on and everything, so I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not trying to sound like a rules controversy here. I'm just saying I didn't think you could replace the club, but I guess you're allowed to. The local rule is that you're allowed to replace the club because he didn't break by like him snapping it over his leg or something. So I just thought that was an interesting situation.
Exactly.
He had a new
That's
driver.
exactly what it is, yeah.
He had a new driver in like 2 holes of 7. So 8 was the par 3. I think he had a new driver by like the 9th tee or something like that. But I thought that was a fascinating situation. So those are some of my thoughts. And again, I have some of the Tiger Woods stuff that we can talk about if you want. We had a big story about a couple of days ago. But why don't you carry on, or else I was just going to keep talking.
So going off what you said, Joe, about 8 and 9. So fascinating stat that I saw before we went live. The 8th hole at Harding Park is playing 43 over as of an hour ago. The rest of the course is playing 38 over. I mean 38 over. So this 8th hole is ridiculous. I'm sorry, it's either the 8th or the 9th hole. I can't remember. But that backside coming back to the clubhouse is treacherous. You miss right, you miss left, you are absolutely screwed. You're gonna have to punch out, try to hit it over. It's almost impossible to hit it over these cypress trees. The cypress trees seem like they're 100 feet tall. But anyways, that just shows you the field is playing the golf course at 38 over. All in all, I remember I watched from live from the PGA Tour yesterday. Another quick note about Joe, you were saying about them hosting different various events, whether it's the President's Cup, whatever it is. A fun fact, I don't know the date, but back when there was either a major or a Ryder Cup at the Olympic Club across the pond that golf course sits on, they actually used Harding Park as a parking lot. So there was videos and pictures from above Harding Park of cars just lining the fairways on the greens and everything like that. I want to say it was in like the 90s or the early 2000s or something like that. But that was fascinating stuff. Anyways, let's get to the leaderboard. Like you said, Joe, Jason Day finished his day 5 under. A couple other notables. We got Martin Keimer out of left field. Where the hell has he been? He's tied for second at 4 under with Schauffele and Zach Johnson. Where the hell did Zach Johnson come from? No idea. Along at 4 under is Brooks Koepka and Justin Rose. Let me scroll down. Rounding out the top five spots is Finau sitting at 3 under, Kisner sitting at 3 under, Daniel Berger 3 under, Gary Woodland, and Bryson DeChambeau is through 11 right now, and he's at 3 under. Unfortunately, we can't do Rich's gambling corner because obviously the round's not over yet. So I may tweet out or put something quick on Facebook about maybe the top 5 odds going into tomorrow. But that's pretty much all I have for that. What else you got, Joe?
Mario Martone on Facebook says Martin Keimer must be most boring guy on tour. For ratings' sake, he will fall out of it tomorrow. So we'll see. So there's that. Thanks to everyone for your Facebook comments. Ken Martone, thank you for watching. Hope you're doing well. As we continue here, so other things that I had on my list and other things I want to dive into, I thought it was fascinating that one today Tiger Woods led the tournament in driving distance. With Bryson on the course, I can't imagine that's still the case. That can't be the case anymore.
I think it was at like 315 or 316, I think.
Yeah, so that can't be the case anymore. But that was kind of funny. And I think, with him, he had a good first round at Memorial, but then he fell apart. So tomorrow, we'll know by tomorrow night. I'm not sure what time they're teeing off tomorrow, but we'll know by tomorrow night whether or not if he's really, really going to be in contention. So that's that. The other thing that I found was interesting, and we reported it on Tuesday. What day? Maybe Wednesday. Maybe it was yesterday. It was reported on Tuesday. We put up on Wednesday because we had lost power here because of the storm. Tiger benched his famous Scotty Cameron putter. And he's now using a backup. He said after the round that this one is longer and it saves him from bending over so much. It also has weights on the shaft on the club head that he can adjust. He said, and when asked about his previous Scotty Cameron, that is estimated to be worth or to have made him about $94 million.
$94 million. That was crazy.
Yeah. And he said, quote, as I watched the press conference after, of course, and I said, every once in a while they need to be benched. So I thought that was an interesting move, changing putters 2 days before a major. Obviously, it worked for him today, and we'll see if that continues to work for him. But I thought that was fascinating. John Clobber says Bryson broke his driver trying to keep up with Eldrick. I didn't even know my brother watched that. Who knew?
Yeah, right.
I don't know if he was trying to do that.
That's crazy.
I don't know if he was trying to do that, but perhaps. So that's a thought there on Tiger. And again, they go off late tomorrow. He's with Rory and Justin Thomas. Rory got off for a terrible start, huh? He just can't get it together. It seems like he's had Brad Faxon
awful round today.
He's had Brad Faxon fix his putting game again. So that is where that's what I have for that. One interesting note. I really think the PGA Tour needs a Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau pairing in the next couple of days. They got to make it. I
can't believe they didn't do that. They should have done that. that scientific thing that he said in his press conference was amazing. He is the king troll of, I'll even say it, possibly sports, because nobody trolls other players like he trolls Bryson. It's flat out insane. I couldn't believe that. Anyways, while I have you cut off, I apologize for that. Couple things.
No.
What I found out too was that Tiger's had that putter for over a year, and what I heard is that he had it made specifically for Harding Park or the majors or something like that. But he also did say that that it was a little bit longer so he wouldn't have to bend over. Also, how about the absolute mind screwing we're getting with the commentators on ESPN right now? We have Jim Nantz, you have Frank Nobilo, you have Dottie Pepper, you have uh, Sean McDonough. Like it's like it's NBC, CBS, Golf Channel, and ESPN all in one. I couldn't believe it. 1 minute I'm hearing Sean McDonough, the next minute I'm hearing Jim Nance, then Frank Nobilo jumps in, and my mind's all screwy. I couldn't keep it straight. It was insane.
Yeah, so for people that don't really get it, how it kind of works. So basically, the PGA Championship, ESPN gets the first 2 rounds. So they have today and tomorrow, and then for the weekend they switch over to CBS. But obviously, ESPN, their golf department is not big enough to cover to do a whole tournament on their own. You also Scott Van Pelt is the other guy that's on there that you missed. Actually,
yeah, SVP. Yep.
Andy North. Awesome. They stole David Duval from the Golf Channel.
David Duval too. That's right. Yep.
He wasn't on live from last night or whatever night I was watching it last night. So basically they kind of there's a partnership. They say, okay, ESPN's gonna have the first 2 rounds, but we'll have the CBS guys come in and help, and we'll switch off. Obviously, they're doing tons of hours of golf coverage, so they switch off every so often. But now in the weekend it'll be only CBS guys. The ESPN guys, I don't believe, will be on the CBS broadcast. I could be wrong on that. That would be the first time they did something like that. But this weekend will be just the CBS guys. So it is kind of crazy. It is a little tricky because these guys switch off, and it's like you have Scott Van Pelt and Jim Nance talking at the same time, and you're like, whoa, what is going on here? Obviously, Scott Van Pelt has a golf background from starting on the Golf Channel. So he kind of they sent him on all the golf coverage, but it is kind of crazy, and it's an interesting time in media. I mean, I'm not going to get into a rant about it, but it's an interesting time in media. All these stations are cutting, so they're all trying to team up and find partnerships and all kinds of stuff. So, but yes, it is. It does get confusing really quickly if you're not paying attention. It's too bad they can't bring Faraday back. But that is what's going on the PGA Championship.
Let me say one more thing, Joe.
I was going to toss it to you anyway, but go ahead.
Okay. One more thing, since we were speaking about commentating, I don't know if this is a hot topic or not, but this is for all the golf nerds out here. The one and only Kelly Tillman will be on the CBS broadcast this weekend. Like I said, for all those golf nerds out there, I used to love her. I used to love her with Dottie Pepper and all the original Golf Channel cast. I'm not actually sure if she got let go from Golf Channel or whatever the situation may be, whether it was a good breakup or not. I am super excited to have her back because she is a great course reporter, knows the game, and like I said, I'm a huge golf nerd, so I cannot wait to see her this weekend.
So I was just going to clarify that I was going to throw it back to you, but Kelly Tillman, she's gonna be on CBS coverage. I'm not really sure what she's doing on it. But yes, she was on Golf Channel. She stepped away from Golf Channel to raise her daughter. Her daughter was like 5 or 6 or something like that, and she stepped away and she left Golf Channel to raise her daughter for however many years, and now she's trying to get back into it. So I'm not quite sure what her role is going to be on CBS. If they're going to have her anchor, if they're going to have her on the course, I'm not really sure. She was a Golf Channel anchor for years.
I hope she comes back. She was awesome. She was so good.
Her and Rich Lerner did it on Golf Channel. They switch off on live from whatever. So I'm not sure what her role is going to be. I'm not sure anyone really knows, or if it's a long-term thing, or if she's just doing it for this one time. No one really knows that stuff. We'll wait and see. But yeah, she did. She was back this weekend on CBS. She stepped away from Golf Channel, like I said, to raise her daughter. Bridget White, thanks for watching. Hope that you are well. What I was going to say is we have a few minutes left, and golf is still live. It's not often that we do a show. We did it at one time when we did the morning show, but generally speaking, it's not often that we do a show while there's still golf going on. So what? Because I don't have a TV in front of me, I can check Twitter. But what? Anything crazy happening right now as we speak? Who's making a run? How's our guy Phil Mickelson doing? Is he hitting bombs? What's going on the tournament as we speak?
So they got a first round recap of Tiger Woods. Like we said, he's sitting at 2 under. had that late bogey. He was sitting at 3 under, but he had that late bogey, so he ended up finishing 2. They just said, let me grab my remote. Hang on a second. They just said his feet of putt made 114 feet 9 inches of putts made in the first round. Total putts for the first round. That is crazy. He is rolling the rock, and I'm just surprised because they're very tight. The fairways are very tight. The rough is really deep, and lately he's not known for hitting fairways. And I turned it on this morning, and he was like either even or 1 under, and I couldn't believe it. So I hopefully this weekend's going to be awesome because it's always better when Tiger's in contention.
It is. Speaking of this weekend, why don't we preview the weekend for the folks? I know you said you can't give betting stuff because the tournament is still going on, so we'll save that for another time. But what are you expecting out of the weekend at the PGA? What are you looking forward to? What are you worried about? What are you interested in watching other than the obvious golf? But what are you looking forward to this weekend from a specific player or whatever, anything?
Spieth, number 1. Like I was telling you, I actually took Tiger head to head with Jordan, and that was easy money. Tiger beat him by 5 strokes. He just doesn't have it. We'll have to see what if the cuts at we'll have to see what the cut is. Jordan's not looking good right now. That's one of my more interesting things I want to see this weekend. I want to see / tomorrow, because obviously the cut's tomorrow night. If Jordan can pull out something even close to the cut line and be hopeful for the weekend, he has a knack for playing in the majors, albeit the one that he choked away at the Masters, but we won't say anything about that. Obviously Tiger, we'll see. Hopefully, knock on wood, he makes the cut. He's in good position. We can see if Brooks can win his 3rd PGA Championship in a row. If you remember, he won it at Bethpage, and then he won it at Shinnecock 2 years ago. That would be quite a thing, because we all know he only plays in majors, obviously by the way he plays in other tournaments.
That would be history if he wins 3 in a row. No one's won 3 PGAs in a row. I forget the friggin' year.
Nope.
I wrote it in my preview. I can't remember the year, but no one's won three PGAs in a row since Walter Hagen did it. I think I don't want to guess on the year. I don't want to say the wrong year, and I look an idiot. But the year is in my 5 things to watch for a preview if you want to read it. So if he wins it, that'd be history. Anyway, I just wanted to jump in. What else you got?
All right, my last
this weekend.
My last point is another fascinating thing about these PGA events, especially the PGA Championship, is the PGA professionals, like our pros that play at our golf courses. They're eligible to play in this if they qualify. That is so cool. They have their own, ESPN, PGA, whatever it is. They put up their own leaderboard for the qualifying PGA guys, instructors, stuff like that. I think that's awesome. They also do it with the U.S. Open, and they also have their own PGA. Don't quote me on this. Their own PGA instructors tournament where it's just PGA certified instructors. They have their own 3-day tournament. It's all televised on the PGA, but I think that's awesome because I don't know about you guys, but my pro Peter, he does everything for me. So shout out to those guys that made the cut, and hopefully they make a good score this weekend.
Yeah, so they have their own professional tournament called the PGA Professional Tournament, PGA of America Professional Tournament, something like that. But there's actually two. There's 2, not from Rhode Island, so but 2 relatively local guys playing in the PGA Championship this week. One of them's from Massachusetts, Rich Barbarian Jr. I hope I pronounced his last name correct. And there's another guy whose name escapes me. He's from Maine. And actually, our guy Peter Walsh is friendly with both of those guys. And so there, Rich Barbarian was 1 under at one point. And the other guy, and his name is going to kill me. He started the day with birdie. I don't know what he is now, but he started off his first 2 holes birdie. He's from Maine. if somebody said it, I would know. But yeah, there's two relatively local guys playing, PGA professionals.
Oh, it looks like I lost my host. Uh, let's see if he'll come back. Other than that, what he was saying. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was trying to find that. I think the guy's name is actually Sean Warren, a teaching pro at Falmouth Country Club in Mass, is on the short list of Maine golfers who played in one of the sport's major championships. So we're gonna. I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting this. That's all I got for tonight. Gonna have a round this weekend with my dad and my brother-in-law. Actually, no, I lied. My brother-in-law is playing in the club championship at the King this weekend on Sunday, so I'm gonna play my round, have a couple beers, and watch my brother take home the championship. So that's all I got for this weekend. Have a great weekend. It's supposed to be a nice one, and take it easy.